Hello, I'm Jen from Aussie-Rig-Renos. Welcome to another episode. It's now been over 12 months since I finished the Courage Caravan build, and I'm lucky enough to have been out 6 or 8 times. We've just come back from the Tamworth Country Music Festival, which was a trip of a lifetime and highly recommend it, and lots of other smaller getaways. One recently to Belmont to catch up with all the other vintage caravanners. There were 21 of us, and that was quite the catch up. Taught me a lot, and it was great to get different people's ideas on things. Today I want to show you an update on what I've tweaked with the Courage Caravan, because you can't just build a van and then go and use it. Well, most don't anyway. It doesn't matter if you buy a new one or a used one or completely renovate, there'll always be something, and that's where that saying comes from. So there are things that I've had pointed out to me or I've found on my own, things that loosened over time or just weren't quite working. One of which was my solar. One of my trips out, I had the solar connector where it comes from the solar panel in the roof down through. Now, because I'm pushing the pop top up and down, the connector had come apart, maybe only 0.5 millimeter, but it was enough to not be sending signal through. And even though I was watching my app, I really didn't know the app well enough on my Victron regulator. And I encourage you to really get to know how to use your app. So I should have known that I wasn't getting flow through. I thought it was just because the battery was full. So what was happening is I wasn't getting the solar through. That then, with my, I'll just turn this around, with my Evercool 75 litre fridge, it was pressing on a 12 volt cord, and it was a cigarette lighter type, but because I'd put the power point behind the fridge to take it out of sight, the fridge in fact was moving and pressing on it and cracked the end. So it didn't look like there was anything wrong, but what was happening, suddenly the fridge had error codes like 1 to 5, all random error codes, and I'm looking up the book and ringing the manufacturers, and they basically, the fridge mechanic told me that they no longer supply cigarette lighter plugs. They now take them straight to Anderson and connect to the battery direct. Now, these cords are available from BCF, and they're called the Dometic cord. They should fit your 12 volt fridge if you've got a similar model. Mine's an Evercool 75 litre Wi-Fi dual zone. So what happens now is I bought the Dometic cord. It has an inbuilt fuse in it, so it's a really good version to buy rather than a cheaper model you might find on eBay or some other online seller. So connected it through to the battery and put that there. I also bought a secondary solar panel, just a 160 watt, which takes me through to 520 watts. And I was recommended to not necessarily put it on the pop top because it just made it heavier. So I ran another Anderson lead out to the drawbar that I can connect to the battery when I need to. And then I've got a free solar panel I can point towards the sun. It also aids me if I want to park the van in the shade, and that was another consideration. I had put the solar panel up the front of the van so I could always put the bedroom semi in the shade. But these are all the learning curves that you go through, and it's trying to find the resources, trying to work out what's wrong, trial and error. You usually don't have time when you're at home. And so it's crucial to sort of work things out. Otherwise, you're going to get out there like I was with a flat battery, because the error codes had been making the fridge work overtime and it was draining the battery. And because there was no solar coming in, it lasted 3 days and then kaput. So luckily, I've got a backup plan as well. I have bought a 2 kVA generator, Gentrax, and I find them fantastic. So that's on board just in case I have low UV or really, really cloudy days causing, you know, virtually no signal. So the other thing I got recommended was a lovely guy by the name of Ben Zarb, and he's with Mobile Caravan Repairs. Now Ben will do almost anything, electrical, solar, mechanical, welding, all sorts of things. You know, you might have a water leak, you don't know where it's coming from, Ben's your guy. He's fantastic with solar, he really gets it. And what he did with mine, he went right over my system, and we're going to have a look at that now. Okay, so this is my system set up. Now you can see where I've put the fridge in and the secondary Anderson plug. So what Ben did is he recommended to me, and he was brilliant. We sat and chatted on the phone and we texted back and forward as to what my needs were and what I could possibly use, what he recommended. So he actually recommended that I go for a battery shunt. Battery shunt gives me a on-the-wall monitor, and this tells me everything. It's from Renogy, and I'm going to put the details and the model number here. Cost was around about 130, I think, for the actual monitor, and it all comes complete as one kit. And by doing that, we'll go back here, what Ben's done is he's tightened up all my cords. All of the positives now go off one. I had them on several, which was kind of, I don't know, jazzing up the signal. He shortened these. These were in a big arc before, and I'm going to show you a photo of what it was like. Let's have a look here. Okay, and now we're going to show you what it was like before and then after. Okay, so what we've done then, the negatives go to a battery block, or yeah, I think it's a battery block and then a battery shunt. But not just that, Ben went right over all my cords, and you can see by my map here, sorry I'm diversing, I had a lot of instruction from J-Car and other really, you know, knowledgeable people, but I had run here this cord and then this cord coming through from that little, I'm not sure what it is, it's a block thing. It was thin wire, and because I'd only put a few things 12 volt onto the fuse box, it was no problem. But if I had have put more, there's a space for I think 6 more things running down this side. If I had have done that, it could have potentially caught on fire. So little things like that. As well, you'll notice here, see these ends? Ben has this amazing big click machine that puts on a metal end and locks on whatever end you have to put on, like the loop there. It locks it on like you see the professional versions that you buy in store. So he converted every one of my cords, wherever they are, all of them now have those specific ends on them. He also, I've got my my trickle charger here, which I don't mount to the wall, because that means if it's mobile, I can take it in the garage and use it on my car if I have to, if I'm not using my car for a time. So what Ben did was come up with, on the wall over here, he's put an end there connected to the battery, so all I need to do is plug it in. I don't need to use alligator grips, which I don't know about you people, that they still make me nervous putting those on. I'm always ready for a zap. This is my smart charge, my Victron solar charger, and I keep my instructions for it right there, just in case. So everything's quite well laid out. Ben did have a laugh at my multicolour rainbow straps, but as in everything with Courage Caravan, they had a story. and they were both my parents' luggage straps that they took around the world. So it was very important to me when I found those in going through their things after they passed away. They now come with me. So back to the subject, you can understand that there's a lot of things that Ben has helped with. Now, the other thing that Ben is really good at is welding. And I was in the position where I had my front drop-down legs. The bracket had been put on the wrong spot, so the leg wouldn't fold up. And so Ben to the rescue, he welded my legs on really well. And so now I've got the two stability front legs and they match the rear legs, and gee, it makes a difference. I can wind it up or down much better than the old wind downs. Here we've got the back legs, and I already had those on. So the other side of things is if you need some professional welding or actual manipulation to the metal on your rig, Ben's your guy. He checked all around my van and things like my water tank, because I go with my water tank full, 85 litres jostling around had loosened the bolts. So he found that my water tank was a little low, and also you can see the dot of stuff here. What he found, I had the old step mounts, because we now use this step instead. We find it's much more reliable and a better spread of step. So the old step mounts were still there, and the tank was rubbing on it. So it was almost through. I would have had a perforated tank and been leaking water. So when I got home, I chopped those off myself with the angle grinder, and to get home, we just put a block of wood in there and fixed it all up. It was so great to have fresh eyes on my rig and go over things that you wouldn't normally look at because it's forest for the trees kind of stuff. Now, Ben doesn't mind at all the older vans like this 1977 model. In fact, he sometimes prefers it, he said, because the access is a lot better. He will work on almost anything, and that's for you to talk to him about. He is located in Grossvale, Richmond area of Sydney. He is mobile, but he can use the family property at Grossvale, and it means that all the tools and things are accessible, ladders and all sorts of things that are a little harder to go mobile ways. Plus, if you need to quickly go and get something, there's a multitude of stores nearby. He bought the things I needed and then installed them because he knew then he had everything correct with wiring and bits and pieces. The bill was very affordable, and no, this is not an endorsement for services. I did pay, and I offered to do this because I believe that good business and good services are hard to locate, and we should all be spreading the word with people that do a great job for an affordable price, you know. So Ben Zarb and Mobile Caravan Repairs, and I'm going to put his card at the front and the back of this video. Feel free to give Ben a call on his mobile or text him. He'll get back to you. And his multi-skilled services, I'm sure he'll be able to help whatever your needs may be. Let's take a quick look at Caravan Update, and let's see what I've been doing. Okay. So here we've got Courage Caravan. It's a little busier than when you might have last seen it. I've added some decals, which I thought were terrific. I've also added roll up and drop down blackout curtains on every window, which really help. I'm not used to caravan parks, so when I've stayed there, the lights are very bright that are on all night, so I found they're really good. I'm collecting a little bit of art as I do along the way. I love to collect other artists' work. This is Ron Bath and a beautiful oil painting of the Darling River when I was out there and did the Darling River run. We've got our beautiful seats. Of course, the drop-down table exists, and that could be a lounge area, but I prefer it as the table and chair. I eat there every day. I've got my map to study and see where I might be going next. The stickers are available and they're so durable they can go indoor, outdoor. What I did is I just use a highlighter so that I can still read the names of the places, but then I clear Estopoled over the top, 3 coats, and I can still highlight again, but most of the journeys I'm doing are on the same roads, so I can highlight and re-Estopole again. So let's go around this way. I've added a couple of my paintings. I love to paint in acrylics, and I chose these two to just be bright, happy, and not a particular genre, just bright and beautiful to cheer up the van. Around the top, I've put my magnets of all the places that I've been, and in all 7 rigs. So it's wonderful to see these when I wake up, and it reminds me of where I've been and certainly what's possible, all the things to enjoy and all the things that I'm yet to experience, and it sort of helps do the bucket list thing. So let's go through. We've got the kitchen. Remember, I did the railway tiles that the faux stick on. They've been brilliant. Even though I had this, the ply is the German ply that's sound waterproof, scuff proof and thermal proof. The tiles actually stuck really well, and I think the secret to those is buy the best brand you can afford. The cheaper ones, people say that they come off. Lots of room for storage. I've added here just a little phone device for charging. I find that's really good. This is my old battery monitor, and it was okay, but this one is so much better. And you can dull it, you can have it bright, you can do what you wish. I think I've added in the meantime in here the Aqueous hot water system. Now that's a hot water system that's 12 volts, 6 litres, and you just tune it to whatever temperature you want. So what I do is I tune it to my choice of temperature for the shower, which will come back in here, and we use a bidet hose, and it's very long, so you just sit on the loo. And we've prettied this up in this area as well with some decals. I can hang my clothes in here, or I can ditch those, and I've got the shower curtain that just undoes up the top here and comes over here. So we've got the shower curtains, and to weight it down I put 20-cent pieces in the hem, chopped a bit off, and used that for the toilet rolls, which don't get wet. And don't we all love that? Who forgets to put the toilet roll out when you're going to have a shower? I think we've all done it. So I've got drains here. I am going to put another one over in that corner. I found more is better, instead of less is more. And of course the 12 litre Thetford Portaloo. It's just brilliant. It's all you need. But because I've got it on the step, the 12 litre was better than the 10 litre, or sorry, the 20 litre, because it would be too high. So, excuse me. Then we come into the bedroom. We'll put those clothes back up there, and we'll come into the bedroom area. It's been tizzed up with another decal Temu's just great for that sort of thing. I think I paid $4 for both of those decals. So this one I think was $6 and I just love it. It's waterproof. And do you believe if you did it right, you can actually peel that off and put it on paper and relocate it. So pretty cool. So beautiful bedroom, just the single bed. I've added a mattress topper, and in this area we've got PowerPoint, reading light and shelves so I can put some cosmetics, and I have a big battery pack that instead of using 12 volt all the time, I can put the big battery pack in there that will charge my iPad and my phone for 5 days. So that's pretty cool. And just some little things, you know, we all do. I find that if everything is stowed, it's so much easier when you're going. I literally now, things go in the drawers. There's a couple of things I put up here, and I put my paintings on the bed when I travel, but otherwise everything can stay where it is and it really doesn't move. So I think they're the secrets to working out. And the other thing I have done is I've gone over everything in the van. I took away an extra great big shopping bag with me, and as I camped I went through everything and I took out all the things that I really didn't use, because, you know, let's face it girls, we all take too much. So think about it. I'm just getting ready for my next trip. I leave tomorrow to go up to the Maxville Music Muster for a couple of nights, and I'm free camping along the way in a few spots that I have never been before. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Shoot me any of your questions. I'll always answer wherever I can, or refer you to what I don't know or is above my pay grade. Ben's details are on the front and the back of the video, and I will write them in the details box below. And just enjoy your day. Good luck with your renovations, and don't forget there's a reason I called this courage, because that's what it takes. Bye.